Stampers, this is Dawn from DawnStippingThoughts.net, and today we're going to make the double Z-fold card. This is the one we're making today. Sits like that. And both cards are using the brand new designer paper called Blooms Bliss. And then this is this one right here. This one is using the Sweet Sugar Plum for my flowers. Cute. And then this one is using the Island Indigo for the flowers. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to use a piece of Whisper White. This is the 8.5 by 11, and we're going to grab our Stampin' trimmer. I'm going to cut this with you today. Okay, so first we're going to go ahead and cut our Whisper White at 4 1/4 by 11. Then this piece is going to be cut at 3 1/2 by 8 1/2. Okay, then we're going to score this on the 8.5 inch side at 2 1/8. Actually, I'm going to use my bone folder because a little bit deeper score line, and then slide it down to 4 1/4. This is going to make your little tiny Z-fold part of the card. Okay. All right. So now back to the 4 1/4 by 11. The 11 inch side, we're going to score this at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Okay, so now this is going to make your main part of your Z-fold card. So let me show you how these are going to go together. Just burnish these real quick. Okay, so this is the main part of the card. And then this is the way the Z-fold, the second part of the card, is going to go into the main part of the Z-fold card. So hopefully that shows up on camera. All right, so now let me give you all the measurements for the designer paper. Okay, so let's start with the larger piece of the Z-fold card. This piece is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so then you're going to need 2 more pieces cut at 2 1/2 by 4. Okay, and then these are the strips. Okay, so now for the smaller part of the Z-fold card, the larger part is cut at 3 1/4 by 4. And then the 2 panels are cut at 1 7/8 by 3 1/4. And those are going to go right here. So now this designer paper is double-sided, and you're going to notice on this side you'll have hearts, and this side you'll have flowers. Now on this one we just had like a dots, and then the background was like kind of like a smaller flower, but it's in the same pack. But when you're cutting for your whatever side you want to show out, just make sure the hearts are the right side facing up. So this one would go like this. Like that. Okay, so now for the Whisper White piece that's going to go on the front here, this piece is cut at 3 by 3 3/4. And then I just cut out 2 strips for the front of the card. This one's about 3/4 inch by 3 1/2. And then this one is cut at about 1 inch by 4 1/2. Okay, so now let's put our pieces together. Okay, so both of our Z-fold part of the cards are done now. So now we're just going to go ahead and adhere the strips to this little piece of Whisper White, and then we're going to do some stamping. Okay, so I'm going to use the 1 inch square punch. This punch is retired, but it's still my favorite. It's for flagging the ends of the strips. You could also just hand cut them. I've done that way too. So either way, I'm just going to pin at the ends. Then we're going to put the larger piece on first. And then put the Island Indigo side facing up on top of that. And I'm putting it over the edge of the Whisper White because then I can just trim that off to have it fit perfectly. So now we're going to go ahead and do some stamping. Let me show you the two stamp sets we're using. This is the Bunch of Blossoms. Oh my gosh, these greetings are so awesome, and I love the font. We're going to use Today is a Perfect Day to Be Happy for the front. And then for the inside part, we're going to use Sending a Smile Your Way. And this is from the Love and Affection stamp set. Okay, so I'm going to use the Island Indigo Classic Ink. And we're going to go ahead and stamp Today is a Perfect Day to Be Happy. And I'm just going to stamp that right up here to the right hand side. Cute. All right, now we're going to stamp this greeting here, Sending a Smile Your Way. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and hand cut this part out. I want it to be small enough to fit inside the panel of the smaller Z-fold. So now we're going to go ahead and make a flower. You might see them on the cards here. I'm going to show you how I did that. Okay, so we're going to use the Island Indigo cardstock. And the punch is called, I believe it's called Blossoms Bunch Punch. Say that 5 times fast. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and punch out one with all 3 flowers. But I went ahead and did 4 of them already, so I could have them ready for the card just to speed up the video a little bit. All right, so you're going to take your 3 petals here, and we're going to use the Island Indigo Classic Ink. And then I'm going to use my sponge dauber, and I'm going to sponge all the edges of the 3 flowers. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add dimensionals to the big flower. Then we're going to add the medium size on top of that, off-centering it. And I have a little tiny edge cut in smaller pieces for the smaller flower. And this is going to go on the top of that one. And then one more dimensional on the back side. Then I'm going to take my paper piercing tool and use my basic rhinestones and put one in the center of the flower. Aren't those beautiful? Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and put this onto the front of the card. This piece right here is going to go right there. Okay, now to assemble the card, I'm going to put adhesive on this. So this is the way the card's going to sit on top of this card here. So we're just going to put adhesive right along this edge, right here, and then just along this side over here. Okay, so you're going to close the card. Then we're going to take our other Z-fold card and put that right, position it where you want it, right about there. Okay. Then we're going to flip this over, and we're just going to put adhesive on the one side towards the right, because this is the part that's going to stick to this part of the card. Okay, so then when it's open, it sits like that. Love it! Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and decorate the front. Just going to add our flowers. I'm going to put 3 on the front. And then 2 on the inside. I'm going to put 1 over here. And then our little tiny Sending a Smile Your Way, I'm going to pop that up on a dimensional. Okay, and then this is going to go over here, just like that. Okay, and then the last flower is going to go in here. Making sure your flower is in this panel right here, because then it won't show when the card's closed. Now, since the flowers have so many dimensionals, it does make it a thicker card, so you might need extra postage if you're mailing this through the post office. But isn't it beautiful? Okay, so there's that one. Then here's the one with the sweet sugar plum for the flowers. And then here's the other one with the Island Indigo. Okay, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Bye.